Have you ever felt that you do not completely belong to this world? As if something inside you always knew that there is something beyond what your eyes can see. Perhaps since childhood, you have noticed that your perceptions are different, that your mind picks up on things that others ignore, and that your heart carries a calling that you still do not fully understand. The people around you live their lives normally, follow patterns, are satisfied with what is offered to them. But you have never fit into that. You look at the sky and feel that there is something greater watching over you. You notice signs that no one else sees. You feel that there is an energy within you, something strong, something unique. But the world insists on convincing you that this is just imagination. What if I told you that this is not imagination? What if I told you that this restlessness, this search, this feeling of being different has a reason? What if the truth is that you are not 100% human? This statement may seem strange at first, but something inside you already knows this. Something inside you has felt this before. The chosen ones carry an origin that the world cannot explain. They were not born just to exist, but to fulfill a much greater purpose. And this purpose, this truth about who you really are, has been hidden from you. But now, the feeling of not belonging and the real meaning of being a chosen one. Let's explore together the mystery of your origin, the evidence that proves you carry something beyond this world, and most importantly, what to do with this knowledge. Now, prepare to see the truth that has always been within you. It is time to awaken. Throughout this video, you will discover why you are different. If this topic resonates with you, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Here, you will find answers that the world tries to hide. Have you ever felt that your existence did not begin at the moment of your birth? As if there was something inside you that already knew things that no one ever taught you. This feeling of familiarity with the unknown, this silent certainty that you have a mission, is not just a random thought. It is a sign. Since childhood, you may have noticed that you saw the world differently. While the people around you accepted things as they were, you always questioned, sought to understand more deeply, felt that there was something beyond what was visible. Some situations in your life may have seemed unfair, as if you were carrying a weight that was not yours. But in fact, this is part of your calling. The chosen ones do not arise by chance. They are sent. They are set apart. They are marked for a purpose. And this difference is felt from an early age. Perhaps you were that child who asked questions that adults could not answer. Perhaps you noticed patterns that no one else saw. Perhaps you felt that you were different, but never knew how to explain why. Often this feeling of being different can be lonely. The people around you may not understand what you feel, but the truth is that the chosen ones always carry this restlessness within them. They know deep down that there is something greater waiting for them. If you have ever noticed things that others ignore, if you have ever had dreams so vivid that they felt like memories, if you have ever had intuitions that guided you without logical explanation, it is because your connection to this truth has never been completely severed. You have always known that there was more. You have always felt that you do not completely belong to this world. Your origin is not in this physical plane. You were sent. You were chosen. And now is the time to remember who you really are. Since you were little, you noticed that you did not completely fit in. While the people around you seemed to go through life without questioning, you felt that something was wrong, as if there were a hidden truth behind what everyone accepted without thinking. You looked at the world and saw a system that did not make sense, rules that seemed unfair, a path that did not seem to be yours. This happens because you were not created to conform to the system of this world. You did not come to follow the masses. to accept everything as you were taught. You have a greater calling, a purpose that goes beyond common logic. And the world does not like those who see beyond the surface. Most people feel comfortable following what is presented to them. They live within the imposed rules, accept reality as it is, and do not bother to look beyond. But you cannot do that. You question. You feel that there is something hidden. You realize that the answers you were given are not enough. And that is where the challenges begin. When you start to question, to see beyond what has been placed before you, the world reacts. It tries to make you feel wrong. It tries to convince you that you are strange, that you are exaggerating, that you are just imagining things. Because the system of this world does not want you to awaken. It wants you to conform, to accept everything without resistance, to go with the flow without ever discovering who you really are. If you have ever noticed that some people are bothered by your way of thinking, this is not a coincidence. Those who question too much become a problem for the system. You may have felt that your worldview causes discomfort, that your questions make others nervous. And this happens because you see what many choose to ignore. The world tries to shape people to follow a pattern. It wants you to fit in, to think like everyone else, to behave the same way. But you feel that this model does not serve you. And every time you try to fit in, something inside you screams that something is wrong. This may have made you feel out of place, different, even alone. But this feeling does not mean that there is something wrong with you. It means that you do not belong to this world in the way they made you believe. Within you exists a flame that cannot be extinguished. Something pushes you toward the truth, even when it is uncomfortable. You feel that you need to seek more, understand more, go beyond what you were told. And that is exactly why you face difficulties. The world rejects those who do not bend to it. It fights against those who see what is behind the curtains. When you try to step away from the imposed rules, there is always something trying to pull you back. This struggle is not easy. It can be exhausting to feel that no one around you understands your vision, your questions, your doubts. But this resistance does not mean that you are on the wrong path. On the contrary, it confirms that you are exactly where you should be. Have you noticed how those who try to bring a new way of thinking are always discredited? How people who speak uncomfortable truths are ridiculed, silenced, or ignored? This is because the system fears those who see beyond. It needs the majority to remain trapped in what they were taught, without questioning, without seeking their own answers. But you cannot simply accept everything as it is. You feel that there is something more. And this is not a mistake. It is not a defect. It is a calling. If you have ever tried to fit in, have ever tried to ignore that voice inside you, you know that this does not work. You may even force yourself to live like others, but your essence always reminds you that you are different. And being different is not a problem. It is a sign that you do not belong to this world in the way they taught you. If you have ever been made to feel wrong for being who you are, for thinking the way you think, know that this rejection is, in fact, proof of your identity. The world does not reject what it controls. The system does not try to bring down those who follow its rules without questioning. The fact that you feel out of place, that you perceive beyond, that you cannot blindly follow the patterns, means that you have a greater calling. You do not belong to this world. You were called for something greater. And even if the world tries to make you feel alone, the truth is that you have never been alone. You are just awakening to who you really are. From an early age, your life has never been easy. The challenges have always seemed greater for you than for others. Perhaps you have felt that everything you achieve comes with obstacles, as if something is always trying to pull you back, to prevent your progress. But this is not a coincidence. If your journey has been marked by constant difficulties, know that there is a reason behind it. You carry a calling, and those who have a greater purpose always face resistance. The spiritual world is not neutral. If there is a purpose for your life, there is also a force trying to prevent you from reaching it. The enemy does not waste time attacking those who do not pose a threat. He does not care about those who live without direction, merely going with the flow. But those who have a destined path, those who can change realities, those are the ones he tries to bring down. But there is something inside you that never goes out. Even in the face of difficulties, a part of you refuses to give up. This flame, this invisible strength, is proof that something grand is waiting for you. Each obstacle is a test, not to destroy you, but to strengthen you. Gold only becomes pure when it passes through fire. In the same way, your faith, your courage, your resilience are forged in the challenges you face. Look back and see how many times you have already overcome the impossible. How many times you thought you wouldn't make it, but found a way out. If you are still here, it is because your purpose has not yet been fulfilled. The chosen ones do not have an easy life, but they have a strength that others do not possess. When everything seems to crumble, when doors close, when struggles seem endless, there is something within them that keeps them steadfast. This strength does not come from the world. It comes from God. What you are facing is not punishment. It is not bad luck. It is training. The resistance you feel is proof that you are being prepared for something greater. If you feel that your life has been a constant battle, do not see this as a curse. See it as a sign that your existence has an impact. The enemy does not fight against those who do not pose a threat. He attacks those who carry something valuable. You may not see it now, but each struggle is building something within you. Your patience, your faith, your strength are being shaped. You are being prepared for a purpose that you do not yet fully understand. The pain you feel today will be the testimony that transforms lives tomorrow. The chosen ones are forged in adversity. They learn to find strength where there seems to be nothing left. They learn to trust when everything tells them to give up. If the difficulties have made you think that you are not strong enough, know that this is a lie. You are much stronger than you imagine. You have proven this countless times. Every time life has pushed you to the ground, you found a way to get back up. Every time they said you wouldn't make it, you moved forward. Every time they tried to make you believe that you were weak, you discovered a strength you didn't even know existed. And this strength did not come by chance. It is the mark of a chosen one. So when difficulties arise, do not see this as a sign that you are on the wrong path. See it as confirmation that you have a purpose. Something within you needs to be strengthened for what is to come. Do not give up now. You did not go through all of this for nothing. There is something great waiting for you, and every challenge you face is preparing you for the day when you will finally see what you have always been destined to be. Since you were born, they have tried to convince you that you are small. They told you that life is only what your eyes can see, that you should accept everything as it is, that there is nothing beyond what has been taught. But if that were the case, why do you feel that there is something greater inside you? Why, deep down, do you know that you carry a purpose that the world does not want you to discover? Chosen ones do not live according to the imposed rules. They are born with a special calling, and therefore face challenges and resistance from an early age. But these challenges do not come to defeat you. They come to prevent you from realizing the truth. You have a power that the world does not want you to discover. The truth is that everything around you responds to your energy. Your thoughts, your words, and your attitudes shape what happens in your life. When you start to speak with faith, to believe in your power, everything changes. Your voice is not just a sound. It has weight. It has authority. What you declare has the power to create or destroy. That is why they try to silence you. They want you to speak defeat, to confess weakness, to repeat the same words as those who live without hope. Because if you discover that your voice has strength, no one will be able to control you. A chosen one who understands their power becomes unshakable. But your true power is not just in what you say. It is within your spirit. The world wants you to see yourself as just flesh and bone. But you are much more than that. Your spirit existed before your body was born. You carry an essence that cannot be destroyed, a fire that cannot be extinguished. This is the greatest weapon of a chosen one, knowing that you are not limited by what the world teaches. While most people live based on fear, doubt, and acceptance of what has been imposed on them, you have been called to transform. You were created to challenge the impossible. And the key to this is faith. But not just any faith, not a superficial belief that only exists when things are easy. I am talking about true faith, the kind that moves mountains, that does not retreat, that does not waver. A faith that knows that victory has already been won, even before the battle begins. The faith of the chosen ones is different. It is not based on what the eyes see. It does not need proof to exist. It moves forward in the midst of the storm, without hesitation. And this faith is already within you. But the world tries to extinguish it. It bombards you with doubts, surrounds you with difficulties, makes you feel that you are alone. All of this is to make you forget who you are. But today, this lie falls to the ground. You have something inside you that no one can steal. Your voice has authority. Your spirit is stronger than any adversity. Your faith can change realities. And no matter how many times they try to bring you down, you will always get back up. Because this is the mark of the chosen ones. They do not give up. They do not accept living trapped by the limitations imposed on them. They do not bow their heads to difficulties. They know that they were born for something greater. And if you feel this truth within you, then declare now, I am a chosen one. I have a purpose. Nothing can stop me. From today on, stop accepting words of defeat. Do not see yourself as weak, as small, as someone without power. You carry something divine within you. And when you embrace this truth, the world will never be able to control you again. Being a chosen one in this world is not an easy journey. From the moment you awaken to your true identity, you realize that there is an invisible resistance around you. The system wants to silence you. Difficulties arise. People do not understand you. But all of this is not a sign that you are on the wrong path. On the contrary, it is proof that you carry something valuable within you. Now that you know who you really are, the big question is how to live as a chosen one. How to walk in this world without getting lost. How to remain steadfast when everything seems to want to pull you back. The first thing you need to understand is that seeking acceptance will never be an option for you. The world will never accept those who cannot be controlled. From an early age, they try to shape us, fit us into patterns, make us believe that we need the approval of others. But a chosen one did not come to fit in. They came to shine. And light always bothers those who are in darkness. Another essential thing is to protect your mind. The greatest battlefield of a chosen one is not what is around them, but rather within them. If the enemy can convince you that you are weak, that you have no purpose, that you are alone, he has already won. That is why you need to guard your mind, not allow lies to extinguish the truth that God has placed in you. Feeding on negative thoughts and destructive words is what weakens a chosen one. Your words are also a powerful tool. What you declare about your life shapes your reality. Chosen ones do not speak defeat. Do not live saying that nothing works out. Do not feed fear with their words. They speak with authority, declare victory even before they see it happen. If you want to fully live your calling, you need to learn to use your voice to create your future. Another secret of the chosen ones is that they do not live by what they see, but by what they believe. The world tries to convince you that you can only believe in what is visible, but your walk is guided by faith. Many times, you will not have physical proof that you are on the right path, but within you, there will be the certainty that God is guiding you. And the most important thing of all, stay connected to God. He is your source, your strength, your direction. The closer you are to Him, the clearer your path will be. Faith is not just something you feel, but a constant connection with the one who chose you. If you apply these truths in your life, nothing can stop you. But know that the system will react. It does not want you to discover your true power. When you embrace your calling, difficulties appear, but they do not mean that God has abandoned you. The silence you sometimes feel, the struggles that seem endless, all of this is training, a strengthening of your faith. The rejection you suffer is a sign that you are on the right path. The enemy only attacks those who have a powerful purpose. He does not care about those who are lost, but about those who can change the world. If you awaken, you will be a threat to the system, and that is exactly why you need to rise up now. The time for doubt is over. The time for hiding has ended. You know who you are. Now, live as such. The moment has come to decide. Now that you know the truth about who you are, you can no longer live as before. You can no longer ignore the signs, pretend that you do not feel this strength within you, or continue trying to fit into a world that does not belong to you. Your whole life, they have tried to convince you that you were ordinary, that you should follow the imposed rules and accept everything as it is. But inside you, there has always been something different, an unrest, a calling, a voice that said you were made for something greater. Now, you have two choices. You can continue trying to adapt to a system that was never made for you, or you can rise up and take your place as a true chosen one. What will you choose? The kingdom needs you awake, strong, aware of your purpose. There are many people out there who are still trapped, living without knowing who they really are. You can be the light that awakens them, the voice that reminds them of the truth. But for that, you need to accept who you are. If at any moment you doubted yourself, felt that you were not enough, or questioned your worth, today that doubt needs to end. You are not ordinary. You never were. You are not just another person in this world. You have a divine calling and were chosen from the beginning. And most importantly, you have power within you. What God has placed in you cannot be extinguished, cannot be destroyed, cannot be denied. You need to rise up now and act, because the longer you wait, the more the world tries to convince you that you cannot. If this message has touched your heart, declare with conviction, I am chosen. Write this in the comments, because this declaration strengthens your identity. And do not keep this truth to yourself. Share this message, because just as you awaken today, there are others who also need to wake up. You can be the instrument that God will use to call more chosen ones to the purpose He has prepared. Now let's pray together. Almighty Lord, today we come before you in gratitude and humility. Thank you for awakening every chosen one who heard this message. Thank you for reminding us of who we are and the purpose you have placed in our lives. Father, strengthen those who still doubt, who feel lost or weary. May all confusion, fear, and insecurity be dissipated now by the power of your light. May each one who received this word feel your fire burning within them, bringing clarity, courage, and direction. Lord, we break now every lie of the enemy that tries to convince us that we are weak, that we have no purpose, that we are alone. We declare that we are chosen, set apart by you, marked for a greater mission. If you have watched this far, it means you are ready for your calling. So subscribe to the channel and join us on this journey. Your time is now.